when when stories like this come out, it needs to serve not just as a reminder, but literally a blaring clarion call, okay? That in the year 2023, women in this country have fewer rights in terms of deciding what we do reproductively with our bodies than women did in this country 50 years ago, which is mind-boggling when you fucking think about it, because we are kind of taught that societal evolution is linear, right? Like, oh, women won the right to have access to abortion in 1970 something. It's 2023. Surely we should be light years away from that shit by now. Absolutely not. Not in this regressive fucking colony. No, no. Why they hating everything non-white? Don't forget they still hate the bitches too. In America, the bitches get no love in the United States, and not even the white bitches. Jesus, you want to talk about? I mean, as a black woman, do I think I mean, shit, they're not even giving white women's access and respect out here. Let me take you guys to Texas because there's been a couple of interesting stories coming out of Texas as of late. And I do mean as of like the past week. And Will, if you could throw up that article from the Texas Tribune. So the first story I want to discuss has to do with a 32-year-old pregnant Texas woman who is approximately 20 weeks pregnant. She is already a mother of two. And while this is a baby, she's pregnant with her third child. This is a pregnancy that she would like to bring to term, but because of fatal fetal Jesus, I can't even talk. Developmental abnormalities, her child is likely to be born stillborn, or if it is born alive, it would likely die after a week. Okay. This woman lives in the suburbs of Dallas and out there in North Texas. And it came down this week. It says a judge says that a Texas woman may abort the fetus that has lethal abnormalities. And this is kind of a landmark case, everybody, because to be perfectly clear, this is not any sort of victory for women in Texas who seek to have abortion services. The state of Texas has a near total ban on abortion, with the lone exception being to protect the life of the mother. In spite of this woman knowing that, and her doctors knowing that her fetus would either likely be born stillborn or die within a week. And furthermore, that this mother, her own fertility could be compromised in the future, jeopardizing her ability to bear children after this pregnancy if she does not receive an abortion. Even with those criteria, under Texas law, she does not qualify legally for an abortion. So in the state of Texas, they would rather women risk their fertility, ergo risking their health onward, in order to bring into the world a child, a fetus, a baby at that point once it's born, a baby that is not going to survive or have any sort of quality of life, or who would be born already dead. The state of Texas wants to force women into these kinds of situations. And it doesn't even, I can't say wants to. The state of Texas does not want to. They are. They are. After the Dobbs decision from the Supreme Court last June, or 2 Junes ago now, Texas, I think, had a trigger law that went right straight into effect. And this is the kind of things that we're left with. If you could, we'll put up the article again because I want you guys to look at this lady. Okay. Now, to be clear, we're going to get the story in just a second. I'm going to give you the package, as it were. But this is a ruling, a decision. Her name is Katie Cox, 31 years old. Katie Cox. This is a ruling exclusively and only for Katie. This is not Now, the Texas legislature or the Texas Supreme Court is about to have another look at these abortion laws because under these circumstances, under Katie's circumstances, well, we need to reconsider. No, 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 no. They doing this just for Katie, okay? It's only for Katie. And to be clear, whenever there are any sort of exceptions made, right, in the affirmative, in on the best interest and on behalf of the patient, it's gonna be white folks benefiting from that. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's not a diss on Katie per se. I'm sure Katie's fine out here. I hope, but but you're not gonna see these kinds of cases make it all the way to certain levels of the court system when it's black women or indigenous women or Latinas involved. In fact, you're only going to see the criminal injustice system waged against women of color and not working to help preserve their health in the same way that this court decision, in the same way that this judge ruled in favor of this white woman. By the way, the white woman need to have a fucking abortion. I'm not dissing the white woman. I'm just saying, I just want y'all to be noticing this shit, okay? Just be paying attention to this shit. Notice who gets the consideration and who you won't even see brought up for consideration. So I just wanted to point that out. Let us, if we could, let's go to the package. I think this is going to be, oh, come on now, stop being silly. This is going to be coming out of Texas, out of WFAA, and they're going to touch not only on Katie Cox's ruling that a judge ruled that she can go ahead and have her abortion legally in the state of Texas because she's not 100% in the clear. You guys are going to hear the reason for that in a moment. But the package is also going to mention a case that has in the past week was argued before the Texas Supreme Court regarding Texas's muddled as fuck illegal anti-woman, anti-child abortion ban that is on the books there in Texas. But let's take a look at this package. Yep, this is from WFAA television.
Now I am ready to turn it over to the attorneys for this case.
Attorneys in a Zoom hearing arguing over the fate of Kate and Justin Cox. The Dallas woman is 20 weeks pregnant. Doctors have confirmed her fetus has a fatal diagnosis, will be stillborn or live for a week at most. But by Texas law, she cannot have an abortion unless her own life is in danger.
They have also told her that delivery of this pregnancy will be dangerous.
Doctors have told her taking the baby to term might keep the mother of two from having any children in the future.
According to her doctor, the medical care that she needs is an abortion.
Attorneys for the state of Texas argue she does not.
It's changing the medical exception in Texas and then saying that the plaintiffs meet this changed, newly rewritten standard in Texas. For that reason, this court should deny it.
But after 45 minutes, Judge Maya Guerra-Gamble decided in her favor as Kate Cox in the Zoom window next to her began to cry.
The idea that Miss Cox wants desperately to be a parent, and this law might actually cause her to lose that ability is shocking and would be a genuine miscarriage of justice.
The response from the Texas Attorney General, this warning letter sent to Methodist Hospital, Women's Hospital of Texas, and Texas Children's Hospital, telling them the decision will not insulate hospitals, doctors, or anyone else from civil and criminal liability for violating Texas abortion laws. And Texas Right to Life, in a statement, argued that fetuses should always be brought to term. Every child is uniquely precious and should continue to be protected in law, no matter how long or short the baby's life may be.
I will say that for her safety, her family's safety, and her physician's safety, we're not going to provide any information about where and when Kate is getting the health care that she needs.
But as Kate Cox and her doctors believe, they can now proceed with the abortion she was seeking. The state Supreme Court is still deciding the larger issue. 20 women and 2 doctors last week challenging and asking for clarification of the medical exception in the Texas abortion ban. Both sides and an untold number of Texas women still waiting for a decision on that. In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
Well done package there, Kevin Reese, WFAA out of Dallas. A couple things there, guys. So yes, as you saw, the court did rule in Katie Cox and her husband's favor, so she is going to be able to have this abortion. Interesting and also very telling that the Texas State Attorney General there, Ken Paxton, whew, a saltine amongst saltines, like a preeminent Ritz cracker. I mean, just outstanding in his clubhouse crackerisms. Just wow. Paxson sent the letter to her doctor saying, y'all can do this abortion if you want to. Guess what? The state is still reserving the right to come after you criminally if we want to. And lest we not forget, everybody, Texas is the state where they passed SB 8. The vigilante snitch law, right? That I think that's my characterization of it. But this is where a regular ass person, another civilian, can bring a lawsuit against people that they suspect of providing abortion services. And they can sue them to the cost of, tens of thousands of dollars against the person being sued, against the person suspected. In this case, it would be Katie Cox's doctors and potentially anybody else on the medical team who's administering anesthesia or who's doing, post care for her after her abortion procedure. Like, despite the court ruling in her favor, her livelihood and the livelihood against of the medical professionals that are seeking to give her care are still very much in jeopardy in Texas, guys. And to be clear, I can't underscore the role and the weight that even race and class played in this particular ruling, because even though this white lady's not in the clear, you see that the white lady had the resources to get herself in the clear, right? Even though she's not in the clear, she had the resources for legal representation. Her representation had the wherewithal to appeal a lower court's decision to make sure that the ruling, the eventual judgment, went in her favor. On the whole, Black women, brown women don't have those kinds of resources, don't have the access, don't have the time to take off, don't have the money to pay the attorney. You know what I'm saying? This is there's no civil jackpot to be won at the end of this. There is no representing, get legal representation on contingency, when you're trying to fight for your right to have an abortion. Like, you either got the bread for the lawyer or you don't. The ACLU or one of the big repro orgs are going to represent you pro bono, or they aren't. And if they aren't, where does that leave you? I am not clear whether or not the Texas Department of Health is keeping proper statistics on women in Texas who have died as a result of not being able to have access to abortion services. I would not even trust that information were it available, right? Because I would think that they would manipulate and try to lessen those numbers if that data exists, which I'm sure somebody is keeping track, but I don't trust the state of Texas to be doing that. Well, hold on. So you see, Katie's got the thing in her favor, but she ain't in the clear yet because the mandem, Jesus Christ, at the fucking man, like they not even giving Katie no brace because she white. Like they said, bitch, white, you especially. No, white lady, no. It's your babies we want the most, white lady. We want them living, we want them dead. We don't care how them babies come out. You got to bring us some white babies, white lady. Ken Paxton said so. State of Texas said so. Who's that man? Greg Abbott says so. But the lawsuit that's being heard by the Texas Supreme Court is also an interesting one. So 20 women and 2 doctors, so it's 22 total plaintiffs, suing the state of Texas because they say that the language in the law banning abortions, the total ban on abortions, they say the language is not clear. And of course, the language is not fucking clear because it was written by a bunch of slack dick yokels in the Texas state legislature, overwhelmingly male, but not exclusively. There was some dumb wayward bitches. Where are my UK people at? Some stupid cunts. I love how the UK, Kalechi especially, Kalechi, oh God, Kalechi can call somebody a cunt like no other. But a bunch of there was some stupid ass cunts in the Texas legislature as well, who voted with them fucking slack dick ass mandem to enact this near ban, total ban on abortion. So there's a challenge to the law that the arguments each party has already made their arguments in front of the Texas Supreme Court. It's going to be several weeks before the court is expected to render a decision, but everybody on the Texas Supreme Court is a Republican. I don't know how that's going to go. But y'all, Texas is one of the, if not the largest state in the union, right? Texas, California, Alaska, somewhere in there, right? This is what it's like for millions of women in one state. There are roughly a dozen or so other states that have abortion bans on the books similar to Texas. And this is what we need to remember and remind ourselves as we're going into 2024. Like, there's a lot of things that we are out here fighting for, right? Black liberation for show, land back for show, the ability to exist while Black and not be murdered by the state, right? I mean, these are big asks, apparently. But the abortion issue is sort of particular because who doesn't it impact, right? Like across racial lines. And again, to the extent that it impacts people, it will impact them differently across racial lines, across socioeconomic lines. Wealthy white women may not be as impacted by this law as lower income Black and brown women, but all's the women's, but by and large, without, with the exception of some privileged few, all of the women's and people who care about women and girls are going to be impacted by this and continue to be impacted by this. And I think a lot of those people's voices are quiet. I think that there are some disturbing trends that are happening as a result of these abortion bans that are not being well broadcast. People who discovered that they are pregnant in abortion restrictive states and who may find themselves in denial about that pregnancy and then ergo do not seek proper prenatal care, which can lead to not only pregnancy complications but complications with the health of the mother and just a cascading myriad of issues. That's part of the reason why we have, and previously on this channel, and we will again in the future, resume supporting the local abortion funds. And it's not a diss necessarily to the national reproductive organizations, but it seems as though the local abortion funds are far more attuned to the needs of the folks on the ground and are willing to put up money, cash money, baby, to make sure that people have transportation, lodging, access to the services should they have to leave their home state in order to get these services. But y'all, don't look at this as this is just a chick issue. It's not. Okay? Like if you have women in your life, regardless of who the women's are, right? It don't have to be your partner, don't have to be your sister, your mother, your daughter, your auntie. Like, it could be your friends, it could be your homeboy's wife, it could be your best friend's sister. Like, there's a lot of people who don't necessarily have to be in your immediate familial orbit or be in relationship to you, that you should care about this issue how more so than it impacts those that you immediately know. This is people's health in danger here, and also think about the kids, right? um I'm thinking about kids that may be born into situations in which they were simply unwanted. You know what I'm saying? That happens. You know what I'm saying? People give birth to kids that they did not want nor ask for. And sadly, sometimes these people treat them children like they did not want them and like they did not ask for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, not saying just abort all the babies that nobody asked for, but we have to allow women, especially, and girls, to have options in life. And the option about whether or not you want to be a mother or whether or not you even have the ability to be one, whether or not your health will be compromised if you bring this pregnancy to term. Like, those are all decisions that should never be taken from anybody, right? And if the shoe was on the other foot, if the shoe was on the other foot, beloveds, if the shoe was on the other foot, if there was some sort of medical procedure that affected men's health or men's reproductive health, wouldn't be no debate. It wouldn't be no argument. Wouldn't be no protest. The man them is gonna make sure that the penises is doing their things, that the penises and the scrotums are in top working condition. Okay, and whatever that takes. It's okay. If there was a question about what the status of men's reproductive health and their erectile function and all that shit gonna get worked out, right? But my point is, because it's women, because we live in a deeply misogynist world, can't even necessarily pin it exclusively on American society. We live in a deeply misogynist world, that still in 2023, some men do feel as though they still have the authority to say about what women do with their bodies. And those men need to be smacked in the fucking teeth, okay? Literally and figuratively. If it means that they need to be voted out of office, that needs to happen, okay? And if we're talking about men who are representing primarily conservative, the pro-life district, I need the white women in them districts to operate some sort of surreptitious campaign, whisper campaign, to get these motherfuckers out the paint, white conservative women, because when your daughter gets knocked up on prom night, and y'all not ready to be called grandma or grandpa, you're not gonna be able to justify to your husband a long ass trip to Colorado coming from Texas. So why don't we just get abortion back on the books in Texas and all the other states in which these draconian abortion restrictions have gone into place, and try to, damn it, I almost said make America great again. Y'all can slap me. I'm going to line up. Oh, y'all, the line forms around back. Oh, y'all can slap me because I almost said make America because this bitch was never great. First of all, Kim. Second of all. And third of all, that shit should never be coming out your mouth. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Anyway, that's my story.